all I know is Tyson signed for the fight in January. It was supposed to take place in September. For obvious reasons, it couldn't take place because AJ's tragic accident where he lost two of his friends, and he wanted a warm-up fight, which he's had. So then it was set place in November. His contract said it should take place in England. Tyson's said Ireland. And cut a long story short, Tyson said, here fight wherever it needs to take place. And the promoter who's putting the money up wants it, and the broadcaster that he's involved with want it in America. If they want the fight in America or not, or if they want the fight. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, and Tyson will fight somebody else.
Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have a blockbuster fight hanging in the balance, but the clock is ticking. Frank Warren warns that if the deal isn't finalized soon, Fury could move on and the fight could fall apart.
It's in their hands. I mean, I don't know what the financial situation is, and to be quite honest, it's not my business, it's their business. I mean, we kept our powder dry. All I want to see is the fight happen. That's really, and from our side, we're all good to go.
Frank Smith said that they're running out of time for this fight to happen on the.
Well, that's the fact. It's only the proposed date is in early November. So we're 12 weeks away. They will run out of time.
With that, Dan Rafael believes the demands for a U.S. venue could be intentionally making things harder, and if those demands are accepted, it would be a huge win for Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua.
So for Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua to have agreed to a fight in the UK for this big mega event, and then have people come back and say, well, never mind, we'd like to do that in the United States, which makes no sense to anybody except maybe a few executives at Netflix. They have every right to ask for the moon and the stars and the rainbows, for all I care. I feel like what they're asking for, if you believe all the things that are out there, it's almost like they're purposely asking for the stars and the moon and the planets.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn says AJ versus Fury is already locked in, with the contracts already signed and only the date left to finalize. He insists the fight is expected to take place in the UK, and the only real threat would be a breach of the agreement.
The date's really quite simple. We've signed the contract. We're waiting for a date. People keep talking about, you saw Tyson Fury on the epileptical trainer or whatever he does on the, the cross-trainer stuff, shouting and screaming. There's nothing to shout and scream about. The fight's done. The fight's signed. No one can pull out of the fight. You can't just pull out of a contract. So we're waiting on the date. Now, we know everybody and his dog involved with the fight wants to do the fight in America. We don't. Okay? And we've told Seller and the team, if you want to do it in America, these are the terms that we can move forward with. But we'd rather not, please. So there's the option, really. The contract signed. If they deliver on the contract, where they have to legally, the fight's happening in the UK. And we'll be very, very happy. But there's no suggestion that the fight's not happening. No one can stop this fight from happening. The only way it can stop from happening is if they actually breach the contract. We have a contract to fight Tyson Fury in the UK, and that's what we expect to do.
Moreover, Eddie Hearn pushes back at Frank Warren over the fight's location, insisting his side shouldn't be the one expected to compromise. He argues that they already have a signed agreement and questions why the responsibility is being placed on them.
Does Frank Warren want the fight in England? Yeah, I think he does. I'm sure he does. He loves British boxing. He knows how big it would be in this country. But the reality is they don't really care where it is. We do. And I think your first point, it kind of baffles me that it's like it's on us. And it's like, come on, Eddie, don't fold. It's like, we shouldn't have to fold. We signed a contract, and it's so mentally destroying to try and explain to people who, like, I don't want to be disrespectful to people's intelligence, but it's like you're listening to a geezer on an elliptical trainer, or whatever those cross trainers are called, right, who, let's be honest, doesn't really have the best track record.
Showing his concerns, Tyson Fury has cast serious doubt on the fight happening, blaming Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua for pushing for more money. Fury claims they've already made plenty from their deals and says their latest demands could be what prevents the fight from going ahead.
quick update for you. Doesn't look like they're going to sign the fight, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. All because Eddie Hearn and that want more money. They've already had that much money off of Turkey in the last few years, Eddie and AJ, yeah? They've had boxing deals, they've had darts deals, they've had snooker deals, they've had everything. And yet, they've got the audacity and cheek of flea-bitten rats to ask for more money from old Turkey. That's givious. Tell you what, it's disgusting. It is what it is. Same old cliche a decade later. Keep running, you little cowards.
Simon Jordan offers a different take, questioning whether Eddie Hearn actually has much say over where the fight takes place. Jordan argues that Hearn has limited leverage because he isn't actually promoting the fight. He believes AJ and Fury are much bigger draws in the UK, while pushing this fight to America is largely about the money.
I mean, Eddie Hearn has to retain some value in this conversation when he has none. He's not the promoter of this fight. He's not the funder of this fight. But does he want to be the promoter that gets to be... Everyone knows, really, morally, not financially, this fight should be in England. If these were two American fighters, they wouldn't be coming to England to have a fight. There's no real audience for Tyson Fury and for Anthony Joshua in America. They might like you to think there is, but there really isn't, right? Because they're not superstars. They're superstars here, and they're superstars in Europe, but they're not superstars in America. And so with that in mind, Tyson's got a little bit more of a footprint. And if you want to make the argument, as Hearn and Frank Smith will make, well, Jake Paul catapulted him. No, it didn't. Everyone looked at that as a fight. The former heavyweight champion is fighting Jake Paul. Take the currency out of that. Yeah. The bottom line is that Eddie won't be in a... won't, and I'm pretty sure Eddie's probably right. They signed a contract to fight in England. But the money in the room has changed its mind and wants to fight it in America.
Despite all the back and forth from fighters themselves to their promoters, Simon Jordan still believes AJ versus Fury will eventually happen. He also sees the public insults and constant noise as part of the build-up, keeping the fight in the spotlight while the business side gets sorted out.
I mean, the fight's been... I thought that they'd done their deals. I thought that Anthony Joshua had done his deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. Tyson Fury had done his deal, and the real claim that the two promoters have is that they have a relationship contractually with Anthony Joshua and with Tyson Fury, and they get their promoters' money out of it, but the fighters have done their deals. Now, these guys talking about, how much money they should and shouldn't get whilst they're structuring all their tax affairs in different countries to make sure they get the maximum returns are a little bit hypocritical. But the fact is that I still believe this fight goes on. The more that they can keep on curating the noise around it, the more they can keep on insulting one another, to be fair to Anthony, he's not getting involved in too much of that. He does, because that's his stock in trade.
Spencer Oliver believes the fight is still on, with the real battle now happening outside the ring. He says Tyson Fury is using his usual social media tactics, while Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua are applying pressure through the contract negotiations. According to Oliver, these mind games are only the beginning as both sides work toward the showdown.
I expect that from Tyson Fury. He's great at that. He's great on social media. That's how he sells himself. He's just wanting the fight to be done. He's wanting it to be signed, sealed, delivered. We know what's going on the Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua side about contracts being changed. They were meant to be taking place in the UK. Now the fight looks like it's going to land in the US, and they want certain things. The mind games have begun now. Tyson Fury's mind games are all in front of the camera. They're doing that. Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn are playing their little mind games about adjusting contracts, etc. We know the fight's happening. We know it's Madison Square Garden, November the 20th on a Friday night. That's where it's going to take place.
With the venue becoming a major sticking point, Paul Smith believes the financial side will ultimately decide where AJ versus Fury takes place. He says the Saudi backing gives them significant influence, but if the original contract terms are changed, more money may have to be put on the table.
I mean this in the nicest way with them. You don't get to where Eddie, Frank, Barry, all them promoters are without a bit of an ego, and them egos are a good thing at that level, but they're also taking a bit of a beating at the moment because, as we've all said for a while, it's the Saudi money. It's the Saudi that's the sitting on the top table. And
you guys wanted them there. You took their money.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's exactly how it is. The fight's going to be where they stage it. You said yourself, whoever pays the piper picks the tune, and that's where it's going to be. It's the easiest thing in the world to turn around and say, well, if you wanted to fight in the UK, take less money, but they've agreed for the things. But what Eddie's saying, and what he keeps putting out, and it makes a lot of sense, we've signed the contract already for them terms. If them terms are now being changed, they're going to need. I think they're going to need more money for it. That's how it works, unfortunately, isn't it? If you want the fight to be there, we agreed it to be there, but we'll have it there, but it's got to be for more money.
As the negotiations continue to hit new obstacles, Ade Oladipo says there are simply too many people and egos involved behind the scenes, which are creating problems for this fight to happen. He understands why AJ and Hearn want the fight in the UK, but says fans are getting tired of waiting for this fight over the years and just want to see Fury and Joshua finally step into the ring.
Well, there's too many cooks in the kitchen, first and foremost. There are too many egos at this table. You just mentioned a few there. Can you imagine trying to arrange something when you've got the egos of Eddie and Dana and sort of Nick Khan, Netflix, AJ, Fury, Turkey? I mean, this was never going to be easy to sort out. I think everyone just assumed, they're going to click fingers and it's going to be arranged. No. There was always going to be a problem. Eddie and AJ seem to be sticking with, we signed up for the fight to be in the UK. It has to happen in the UK. Obviously, us in the UK like the idea of it, but it's almost got to a point with me where I'm like, just have the fight anyway. Yeah. Like, it's got to a stage now where I do not care. I've been waiting for this fight for over a decade, and every time we feel like we're close, there's another hurdle, another obstacle, another bridge is being built. I think fight fans in the UK are like, we're getting tired of it.
Looking beyond all the negotiations, Billy Joe Saunders believes the fight is simply too big financially for either side to turn down. He feels it's coming later than it should have, making experience, intelligence, and composure more important than who looks the best physically. Saunders leans toward Fury, but still warns that AJ carries the power to end the fight at any moment.
You'll have to be very stupid to say no. Because, there's that much money on the table. Yep. To say, you just can't, it's impossible to say no for that. At the moment, we all know it's a bit late.
That's what it is.
We all know it's a bit late. Are we going to see who really is the true best in this fight? They didn't fight 8-10 years ago. So what we're going to see now is the battle of the old man. Mm-hmm. And it's about I don't think it's about who's going to train the hardest, who looks the fittest, who's in brilliant shape. It's going to be about obviously who uses their brain here and just, sails through. I'm backing Tyson, but also in this fight, I know AJ didn't look too good in his last fight, but he still got the knockout, and he showed he's still got that, that finishing punch.
Even though Smith agrees the fight is several years late, he still expects both men to bring the best version of themselves on the night. He believes the mental battle could be just as important as the physical one, with neither fighter willing to take a step back in training or competition. He also feels both AJ and Fury will be desperate to win by any means necessary.
It's the mental approach, isn't it?
Yeah, I said on this fight, I agree with everything that anyone really in the boxing trade is saying, that it's probably 5 years too late.
Yeah,
maybe a bit more.
We know that, yeah.
We all know that, but you're still going to see the best version of what they are now.
Yeah,
because
right.
neither of them are going to give a centimetre in training, knowing that the other one. I think this is going to be a big mental battle. We know Tyson Fury's very mentally strong. We know Anthony Joshua in the past has had his issues and his problems, and I don't mean anything that's happened with the accent. I mean, in the past, doubting himself, overthinking. Yeah. He's a big overthinker. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good thing for him as well, at times, as well as just being the negative. But they will both be terrified to lose to the other fella, in my opinion. I
reckon that's what ain't happened for years.
I think that as well. I think they probably skirted around us a bit, because it's going to be one of them fights, just win by any cost, win by any means necessary, just don't lose.
Meanwhile, Gareth A. Davies believes the negotiations are reaching a crucial point, with the fight now at a crossroads. He says Eddie Hearn is pushing for more money for Anthony Joshua, but expects a decision soon on whether they'll accept the terms to stage the blockbuster showdown in New York.
Eddie Hearn, and the reason is he's after more money for Anthony Joshua. I get that. But it's coming to a head whether they decide on whether he's going to fight Tyson Fury or not, and whether they're going to go to an acquiesce and go to, which some of your fans don't like the word acquiesce.
No, it's addendum.
Addendum. No. I know what addendum is. I'm saying acquiesce, which is to agree.
Okay.
Whether they're going to acquiesce on the requests for them to fight Tyson Fury in New York. I hope it comes to a head in the next couple of days, and then he's going to have to climb down off his high horse and agree that it's worth it.
Shane Fury is starting to question how badly Anthony Joshua actually wants the fight. He argues that Joshua has already achieved enormous financial success, so chasing even more money may not be worth risking a massive opportunity like this. For Shane, once you reach a certain level of wealth, the extra numbers simply don't mean as much.
The more I'm looking at it and where we're at with it, the less I think they want the fight. You know, Tyson gave me an illustration 3 days ago. He said, if you've got 20 Rolls Royces in the garage parked up outside, but someone offers you another one, but you've got to jeopardise something in your life, does it really matter that much? You know, he's a beaten man. He's no longer the best of what it is, because it's just, listen, time goes on and you get beat and so on. So that's not the thing. But what Joshua is, he's very successful in life. He don't really need no money. All more money is numbers on a screen.
Despite the fight being years overdue, Dominic Ingle believes fans still want to see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua finally collide. He understands why Eddie Hearn is trying to maximize the money, especially if this could be the final fight for either man, and says Hearn won't easily give up control of the deal.
Really, people just want to see the fight between Tyson and AJ. It's way past its sell-by date. Way past, but people still want to see it for the car crash TV that it's going to be. You know, so you can understand why Eddie's holding out, trying to get the most money, because it probably will be AJ's last fight. It'll probably be Tyson's last fight, win or lose. So, you know, you can understand why Eddie wants to maximise it as much as he can. And you know, he's going to go down fighting, so to speak, Eddie, if he has to let go of AJ to somebody else's control, so to speak.
Looking ahead to a potential clash with Tyson Fury, Duke McKenzie has serious doubts about the version of Anthony Joshua that would show up. He feels Joshua looked far from his old self and lacked the confidence he once carried into the ring. McKenzie now questions whether Joshua can rediscover that form.
To get his confidence back, but he didn't go into this fight with a lot of confidence. He didn't look confident going into this fight. His ring walk, I don't know what he looked. He was off with the fairies. He didn't look confident. He didn't. This wasn't the AJ of old. This just looked. AJ he looks like a troubled man to me.
Looking at the strengths of both fighters, Carl Froch believes Tyson Fury's experience could give him a major edge over Anthony Joshua. He points to Fury's natural instincts and reflexes, sharpened from fighting since childhood, as qualities that could still separate him. Even if Fury is past his peak, Froch feels those natural abilities could prove decisive.
But don't forget, Fury's been fighting since he was 5 years old. It's like subconscious reactions and reflexes and punching. He just knows how to do it when his eyes are shut. He's grown up with it. Anthony Joshua was a manufactured fighter. Okay, he's won Olympic gold medalist and is two-time heavyweight champ. But in terms of natural ability, natural fighting, Tyson Fury will do a number on AJ, in my opinion. Even though Fury's past his best now and not firing on the cylinders that he was when he was in the ring against Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua can't take a punch and he can't get out of the way of the punches, and it's just dangerous. So when I say the people around him are telling him all the wrong stuff, you can't blow smoke up his and tell him that he can become an undisputed champ, because that can't happen. That's an impossibility. The AJ fight against Tyson Fury is potentially a decent fight.
As both fighters move deeper into the later stages of their careers, Johnny Nelson believes the time for distractions is over. He feels AJ and Fury have both shown signs of decline, and if this fight is going to happen, now is the time to finally settle the score against each other.
The last 4, maybe 5 fights have had some jeopardy in it with AJ, and so it shows there's a decay happening. There's just something happening in his career. I think it's the same with Tyson Fury. They're at the end of their career. They need to fight each other if they're going to fight nobody else, because even though Prenga could punch, Prenga shouldn't be doing that to AJ. It shouldn't be happening with AJ. And Tyson Fury, former heavyweight champion, he's in with a 42-year-old man. You know, these guys now, it's about the dough. But do I think, is it about the dough for AJ? you know what? It wasn't even about the door for Tyson Fury. It's for the back door against each other.
With the fight taking so long to materialize, Hughie Fury feels the waiting game needs to end. He sees Tyson Fury as the favorite against Anthony Joshua, while questioning whether AJ should have another fight first. But ultimately, Hughie believes both men need to stop waiting and finally settle it in the ring.
Who do you think's better physically going into that big fight between Fury and AJ?
Listen, it's every man to himself. It's a dangerous sport. One punch can end it, but it'd be a good fight.
Who's the favourite?
You've got to go obviously with Tyson, haven't you? So, but yeah, listen, I think it's dangerous. I think Joshua needs another fight, to be honest with you, another warm-up fight. But at the end of the day, it's got to happen now or never, isn't it?
Yeah, to be fair, I think your dad said that to me as well. But I asked a few people, they were saying it's dangerous for him to have another fight because obviously he could go pear-shaped and stop the big fight.
Get on, isn't it? It's been a long time coming. But listen, get in there and have a go. Simple.
With so much standing between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, the fight now feels closer to a breaking point than ever. The money, venue, and contract issues still need to be settled. After years of anticipation, the question is simple: will they finally get it done, or will this blockbuster slip away once again?